All right, we're live here for this Saturday episode of LANGER at the Mic. Welcome into our live stream here, and we're joined by Ryan Silver, who's
Yeah, yeah,
who's really fired up about the Leafs not blowing
boy.
their series against the Blue Jackets yesterday. So we're gonna get into a lot of fun stuff today. We're gonna start by recapping the NHL qualifier series to this point. We'll get into a lot of Habs and Leafs talk. So it's going to be a lot of fun today on this Saturday, August.
Yes, it
Are
will
we?
be.
Yes, it'll be a lot of fun. So, Ryan, how are we doing today?
Oh, you know how I'm doing, buddy. Yesterday was an emotional roller coaster, but man, am I feeling it now. We got the adrenaline pumping, we're smiling, and we are ready for Game 5, baby.
Okay, well, I'm just fantastic and happy to be here. That was our last episode. I'll just carry forward. But anyway, so yeah, like I just
happy to be alive.
Yeah, like I said before we went live, I mean, I just, with all the emotions that I was feeling yesterday, and with the videos that I posted, I could check them out on my channel here at Mike Langer. Also check out my post-game rant on my Twitter at Mike Langer as well, with 2 R's. But yeah, just right now, I'm honestly feeling like an emotional potato, and I'm just ready. I'm ready to get this going. So like I said, we're going to start with just a quick recap. Ryan has his notes ready to go, so we're just going to get right into
Let's do it.
I'm going to name a team, and you're just going to give me a quick story of what you think how it went in their series so far, or ended. So, New York Rangers.
Sounds good. New York Rangers, R.I.P. the King. I just hope he retires at this point, man. Just hard to watch him keep plummeting. He's just such a talented and fun guy to watch over his career. But on the bright side for the Rangers, they do have a 1-in-8 chance of being contenders next year.
They'll have to hail to another king, I guess. Carolina Hurricanes.
My sweet lord, these bunch of jerks are freaking forced to be messed with. Oh my goodness. They are my personal dark horse for the Stanley Cup this year. Mrazek is as capable and as talented as any other goaltender that has won the Stanley Cup in the last decade. And then Svechnikov, Teravainen, and Aho. Oh my goodness, did you see their backhander goals? Oh, these guys, we might be looking at the next first line, the best line in hockey, developing right in front of our eyes. And if you do not believe me, I will argue till I am blue in the face. Okay, and just on the third game.
Imagine if Don Cherry was still on Coach's Corner right now. That would be fun to watch. But anyway, carry on.
I plead the fifth on Don Cherry, but I mean, their backup goaltender clinched it with James Reimer. I mean, the save of the year candidate. Did you see that sequence that he put up? I mean, yeah, he's always had a flair for dramatic saves. Don't get me wrong.
And dramatic goals.
I know. Watch it. But and they're usually recovering out of position. But oh my God, Carolina looks good, and they did that. They swept the Rangers, a competent team, without their number 1 all-star defenseman, Dougie Hamilton. Watch out. Next,
New York Islanders.
Newsflash, Varlamov can play hockey. Next.
Florida Panthers.
Not so newsflash. Bobrovsky forgot how to play hockey. Take notes from Varlamov how to play in net, and stop taking notes from Reimer on how to make a dramatic and flashy save because you were out of position in the net. Oh goodness.
Florida, and just fun fact. So you got
hit me.
Bobrovsky, you got Duchesne, and who is the Panarin out before the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Wow, just wild, man. Just it's just,
we'll get into that. You carry on.
We will. I just don't understand how Florida could be so incompetent for so long. They just how does a team filled with that many snowbirds, that snowbird of a state, not be able to fill up the arena on a day-to-day basis?
You know, I could feel the same way about another certain team that you cheer for.
Oh, the Dolphins. Yeah,
and Toronto.
Toronto, what are you talking about? They fill when they suck. Anyway, next.
Nashville Predators.
Oh, the Nashville Predators. I want you to close your eyes. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the air is corona-free. It's 2018. Bobrovsky and Rene are competing for the Vezina Trophy, and each game is a privilege to watch of theirs. Now you wake up in a cold sweat. It's 2020. You haven't showered in a week, and your beard is starting to compete with freaking Elliot Freeman's for the best rabbi award. Okay, Rene is a backup goaltender for a team that had to trade away PK Subban because he was so bad that he's now sent to the minors. Like,
Straight to the Devils.
That's what I said.
No, you said sent to the minors. Oh well, carry on.
No, I said traded and gets. Oh, whatever. But just rip those dynasty dreams, man. Rip those dynasty dreams. It's not like they traded. I don't know. Wait,
until they draft Lafreniere, maybe.
Oh, that's a good point. But it's not like they traded away a competent player, Shea Weber or anything. Who, he's not making his, he's not making his money worth in a playoff team right now either. But we'll get to that next.
Arizona Coyotes.
So they threw away a ticket for a 7-8 chance of disappointment in the draft lottery. But now they get the honors of getting swept by whoever they play in the first round. Like, I'd love to go into a detailed description of this team, but to be honest, I can't really name more than 3 players on their team, and I feel like most people can't. It's like,
honestly,
I'm not the only one at that.
Yeah, Taylor Hall, Phil Kessel.
There you go. Next.
Vancouver Canucks.
Markstrom. He's either the greatest or the worst goaltender on any given night. And we saw the worst out of him last night in a winning effort. Surprising. It's good to see. As the person on a stream that on the chat box at a stream that I watched last night said, it's good to see Vancouver bail out Markstrom for once, because that was actually kind of interesting to see. But my goodness, 3 of the softest goals I've seen in my life. Oh, he was just not on his game. But when he's on his game, he's getting shutouts. That's just Markstrom for you this year. So, and it's like they got a full squad of young potential superstars. There actually is a lot to talk about here, but I'm not going to. It's a waste of time because they're not gonna get past Game 6 of the next game in their next playoff series. Next.
On that note, Minnesota Wild.
Speaking about waste of time, how about the last decade for this franchise? Oh,
next.
No. I mean, like, they're the Dallas Cowboys of hockey. They're perpetually good, but not good enough. And then just becoming an 8-8 squad, or the equivalent of 8-8, and not getting good enough to enough to compete, but not bad enough to get a good draft pick to build a future. It's just sad to watch. I love Zach Parise, man. I love Suter. I loved watching this team over the years, going, man, maybe they'll do a little bit better this time, and then just collapse. It's just sad. Maybe they're
more like the Leafs the Leafs are more like the Dallas Cowboys, I'd say. But anyway, that's another discussion we can have another time.
No. Leafs are either really good or really bad, and then they just blow up in the playoffs anyways. But we'll get there.
Anyway, Calgary Flames.
I mean, the Calgary Flames. I regret not taking them in 5. I was so borderline with that. That was such a borderline matchup for me between Winnipeg and them. A lot of people were really expecting Winnipeg to take it by storm, and obviously the injuries. We'll get to that in a second. But like, Calgary's a solid team. They've had been for a while, and like, it's unfortunate to not see a really good playoff series come to fruition because of the injuries, but Talbot's for real, man. That squad is for real. They can pull upsets. They can be a contender. They're a good team. I'm excited to watch them in the next round. Next.
Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, well, it's like you'd either have to be a Calgary fan or inhuman to not sympathize for them right now. They're just such a talented squad. And it's just if they had a shot at the cup with Hellebuck playing the way he was this season, they were just so good. But I mean, that's what happens when you lose to your top 4. It's just there's not much to say past that. It's like, maybe next year, maybe not. Next.
Edmonton Oilers. No, come on. You can't laugh at the Edmonton Oilers.
No. That's more sad. I'm actually really happy for them. No, I'm happy for them. It was a great win. I mean, Lafreniere is going to be inevitably bring them to that subpar to another subpar playoff team next year. It's like,
I mean, can Lafreniere play defense and goalie at the same time? Like,
They don't need to if they score 50 goals a game. Oh, but for real though, it's like all the conspiracy theorists are gonna go wild when Edmonton inevitably gets the first overall pick again. I'm cheering for them too. Like if Toronto doesn't get out, like, you know, break my heart and lose Game 5, I'm cheering for Edmonton for that next pick, man. I am looking forward to that. I am so down for it. I know so many people get pissed off, but how funny will that be?
It would be the biggest meme ever. The Detroit Red Wings, they won 10 games this year. The Detroit Red Wings won 10 games this year, and Edmonton will get the number 1 overall pick while they're picking 4th.
So good. It's so funny.
All right, real quick, Ryan, we got Chicago Blackhawks to finish.
Well, actually, hold on. I wanted to finish up with Edmonton. It's just like,
okay.
Connor McDavid. It's just like, it's just so painful to watch this laughing stock of a franchise, man. Like this management of this franchise just throw away so much talent over the years. And Connor McDavid, like everybody wants to see him host a cup. Everybody knows he, quote unquote, deserves to win a cup, but you got to start wondering if he's ever going to hold that cup up when he's wearing orange. It's just, I don't know if it's going to happen at this point. It's just disappointment after disappointment. Next.
And Chicago Blackhawks.
That's the real meme. I mean, it's like Patty Kane's a thing. Playoff Corey Crawford's a thing. Why not? Like, I think I'd be a fool to say they didn't have a chance at another upset, but I'd also be a fool to say they had a chance at another upset. So I don't really know what to say. It's like, let's get on to the two that we've been really looking forward to talking about. Let's talk about the Habs, and let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So my question to we're gonna start with the Leafs just because the Habs series is over, and yeah, we'll start with the Leafs. So ladies first. No, I'm kidding. But how did that happen? How did that happen, Ryan? And I'll give my 2 cents because I also watched the game.
Fans, when we got scored on with 5 minutes left in the game or something on that, 6 minutes left in the game, there was a collective sigh of just disappointment and discontent, and I literally said the words out loud. All right, that's it. I switched the channel to watch the Jays, who had an exciting ninth, or were in the 8th inning with 2 men on base, and blew that too.
Because you can do that as a Toronto fan, where you could switch to multiple teams. But in Montreal, we're stuck with our Canadians. But anyway.
Wrecked. Get a better team scrub. So better get a better city scrub. But like, and then I you know what happened? I literally went, I can't be that fan that just cops out. I need to watch them fail. So I switched back, and as I switched back, that puck rolled in the net for the first time, and I jumped up. I looked at my grandmother, and I went, okay, there's a chance again. Then the second goal happened. I screamed like a little girl.
So did I.
Huh?
So did I.
No kidding. I mean, I think every Leaf fan did. Well, then the third one happened, and I think I woke up all the neighbors in the apartment. I mean, it's just. Wow.
I mean, if they were true Torontonians, they would have been awake already. So yeah.
Well, if it was in true Toronto fashion, it would have been a reverse again, where we would have blew a 3-goal lead. But man, it's so cool to be on the other side of it for once. Let's go, baby! Wow, this is how it feels. This is awesome. I didn't cry myself to sleep like I expected to. It's amazing, man. You got to give credit to Keefe too, man, for taking the lines and saying, this isn't working. I'm going to make it work. Yes, put those superstars in the first line. I love it. We saw competent hockey. That fourth line kept us in the game too, man. Giving those superstars a rest for the way they needed to. Clifford had an amazing game. For a guy that didn't hit the score sheet, my God, did he deserve to. Holy crap. They were just... it was so awesome! Like, holy crap, how did that happen? And then, of course, who else? It's so poetic that Matthews tucks away the final one, too, man. Game 5. God, who wouldn't be pumped for it, man? Who wouldn't be pumped? I almost feel bad for John Tortorella. I almost feel bad for him. But at the same time, let's go. Go, Leafs, go.
You know, when that Jenner goal went in, like that Jenner goal to me was the epitome of the series.
Yeah.
The Leafs just getting impatient with the Columbus Blue Jackets trap game in the neutral zone, getting impatient with the fact that that the
Defensive
Jackets were
breakdowns.
just taking away everything in the middle of the ice and that there were no good looks to be had in the offensive zone. So then they start trying to stretch the ice, trying to make 4-line passes, well, 2-line,
Yeah, and
3-line
like,
passes,
you
right?
know,
Resulting in
maybe earlier in the
turnovers.
series. Oh.
Yeah, and odd man rushes the other way. So just that goal itself, where
Like,
I think it
Andy
was
might be able to bail
Riley.
them out, but
Yeah, where Riley
but
just made a dumb
back-to-back
pass to.
games, right?
Yeah, no, but Riley, I think was it Riley
It
just
was
tried to
Riley.
make
It
a
was Riley.
he tried to make a
Yep.
stretch pass, and Jenner just like easily intercepted it, came in on a breakaway on Freddie, right? Like and then TSN Overdrive yesterday has the nerve. I think it's Brian Hayes has the nerve to blame this series on Freddie Anderson.
I mean, that's preposterous. I mean, first of all, he's in the backstretch of back-to-back games. He's had an amazing series.
Or
He's been
sorry,
absolutely stellar in that.
More specifically, he said that Freddie can't win the big game.
What? Oh God, it's just stupid. I mean, the Leafs can't win a big game. That's not Freddie's fault. Like,
Because
what? They did. They did win it. Now, of course, it's like, you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna break every Toronto Tonian's hearts in freaking Game 5. But look, let me explain to you what it felt like to be a Leaf fan. Okay. Going into the series, I predicted the Blue Jackets to win in 5. Okay, I'm still reluctant to say. Part of me thinks it's going to happen, but I mean, at least I got some joy out of that last game. At least I had the thrill of hockey. At least I felt alive for one game, and that just, I guess, there's something to be said about that as a Leaf fan. But going into this game, I said, there's no way they're going to lose this one. If they're going to lose it, they're going to lose it in classic Leafs fashion in the elimination game, winner takes all. But they're going to come out, they're going to dominate, and they're going to have a good, solid game. This game's been all about, I hate the term momentum, but it's been all about just one team scoring nonstop and nobody reciprocating. It's been 2-0, 3-0, and then 6 unanswered goals, and then 4 unanswered goals, and then another 4 unanswered goals. It's just, there's a hot team and a cold team in this series, and it's been very strange. It's just, I love what happened to the good old teeter-totter games. So, like,
well,
I'm all about that too.
The way I see it is that you have
I segued there, but
no, but
I'll get back to my point in a second.
Yeah. But just the way I see this series is honestly a battle of two complete polar opposites of hockey mentalities. On the one hand, you have the Toronto Maple Leafs, the high flying, offensive, just looking to win an all-star game type of hockey style, right? Just freewheeling and just freewheeling offensive type of team. And then you have Columbus that is old style, try to clog the neutral zone, clog the middle of the defensive zone, don't give up dangerous chances, don't possess the puck as much, but be comfortable not possessing the puck as much, because when a team like Toronto gets impatient with possessing the puck and not scoring goals and not getting any chances, what are they going to do? They're going to start turning the puck over. They're going to start making stretch passes. They're going to start going to fancier plays.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And then, so that's why I think from the way I see it is you're having these extreme shifts of momentum and these 3 unanswered goals and 4 unanswered goals, when the Toronto style of freewheeling is working, that's how they'll get 3 goals or 4 goals like they did yesterday. And when the Columbus Blue Jackets style is working,
you're right.
Yeah, like when the Columbus Blue Jackets style is working with trapping and baiting the Toronto Maple Leafs into mistakes. Game. Exactly. Then that's where they get their 3 or 4 unanswered goals. But you know what? I was thinking another thing in the middle of that game, or I think it was the third period at that point, that has to get talked about, is the fact that Jason Spezza dropping the gloves to wake up a bunch of $30-40 million whatever forwards. Like,
I mean, taking a penalty was questionable at that point, but I mean, yeah, right? Like, oh my goodness. I forgot how old he was until he took off the helmet and he was just completely bald. It was wow. I don't know, poor Mikey. But it's just, oh, I loved it. I loved it, man. It got my blood pumping. It got me back into the game. And, like, imagine what it would do for the players. But I want to go back to the point I was trying to make before I segued there. It was that I forgot. All right, moving on.
No, but here's my
emotional roller coasters, right?
Yes.
Sorry. So, as a Leaf fan, once it was 2-0, I was in the stage where I'm like, okay, they're still alive. But honestly, at this point, do I really want them to win? I mean, the 1 in 8 chance of them having a first-round pick. There's a 1 in 8 chance that they win the cup next year.
We're gonna get into that.
That's pretty sweet.
We're gonna get into that.
We will get into that. But then I was like, you know what? It's a pandemic. The best part about the Raptors was that winning was that I got to go out and freaking go crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't setting things on fire or anything, but I got to go out and have a great time and enjoy life with a bunch of people, celebrating the same pleasure and excitement that I was experiencing. It was this great, unbelievable time, and I hope that every city in the world gets to experience that kind of thrill of adrenaline just pumping through the veins through the entire night. But I'm like, if that happens, some team is going to win the Stanley Cup and they're not going to be able to celebrate, or worse, they are, and they're going to do it like it's going to cause problems, and potentially, people will die. And it's like, that's sad to think. So part of me was like, yeah, I don't want them to win this year. I want to win a year where I could go out and celebrate. But then they scored 3 goals in under 4 minutes, and I'm like, I don't care. I'll die for it, baby. Let's go.
Well, we'll have a whole big picture segment for both the Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens. But yeah, just what a game yesterday. Just what a back and forth, and like honestly, how can a sports fan not enjoy playoff hockey?
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, well, after that was playoff hockey. That was good hockey. That was finally that we were talking about the last time I was on, how it's been a little lackadaisical. But this last couple of games.
No.
You disagreed. Ethan and I didn't like it. But that was much better. This last few games for across the board, for the most part, have been much better, barring the New York game that sucked. But it's like, Bobrovsky, what happened, man? But it's just been more exciting. It's been a lot more exciting, and not just because there's been a lot of upsets, because that's been cool. But I think that happens a lot in elimination games. It's just the thrill of elimination adds a new, a different element to the game as is. And I think, and you could see it in the players. You could see it in the shots on net. I always find, I'd love to look at the stats on that. I haven't looked into it, but I like to see what the stats are on teams that are facing elimination and how many more shots on net they get per game. Because
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another segment of LANGERR at the Mic live here. Our feed kind of crapped out on us from the previous segment, so we're just going to carry on with this one. Unfortunately, we're not going to be live here, but what I will do is I will upload the recording of the previous segment and followed by the recording of this segment. I'll try to make it in one video so it goes well together. And yeah, we're going to continue our conversation. We're going to close out our recap of the Leafs versus Blue Jackets amazing game yesterday, and then we're going to segue into a little bit of Canadiens talk. So Ryan was in the middle of his sentence when we cut out. Yeah, exactly.
I don't even remember what I was talking about, but go Leafs, go. Now, right, I wanted to move on to the next one. So actually, the best way to say this, Mike, how the hell did that happen?
Yes, I asked you that. I could ask you the same thing for the game last night, but here I'll give you an answer here. So that was no fluke. That was absolutely no fluke that the Canadiens beat the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Beg to differ.
That was no fluke, because maybe you could argue Game 1 was a fluke. Okay. Game 2, Pittsburgh took care of business. Price stood on his head. Price gave the Canadiens the best chance to win Game 2, but Game 3 and Game 4 were all Montreal Canadiens. They were all Montreal Canadiens. They were perfectly executed games by the Montreal Canadiens, because Claude Julien, the coaching staff, schemed up a defensive strategy to contain Crosby and Malkin and the high-flying Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Montreal Canadiens executed it perfectly, and they took care of business in game. And don't forget, in Game 3, Pittsburgh was up 3-1 at one point in the second period in Game 3. The Montreal Canadiens could have very well just collapsed in that game and just said, we're going up against Crosby, Malkin, we have no chance, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? They got one back. They tied it up.
No hockey team actually does that.
No hockey team does. They do that. As a 24th ranked team in this qualifier, they very well could have done that. The Toronto Maple Leafs have done that on numerous occasions, and so have the Canadiens done that on numerous occasions in this 2019-2020
ranked team beat Pittsburgh.
Yes. And the 23rd ranked team beat the Edmonton Oilers. So, yeah. So anyway, it very well could have happened. It very well could have happened. But you know what? Huge kudos to the Canadians for coming back in that game. And then in this game, it was just a matter of the Canadians being even better than they were in Game 3, even more, following through on their game plan than they did in Game 3, because the shots. I know you didn't watch the game, Ryan, but just so you know,
plan to just well, I mean, I caught the third period, but it's like, was their game plan to just watch Pittsburgh implode and not score goals?
The shots were 10-10 halfway through the second period, so their game plan
it was nothing.
Yeah, so I mean, look, could we say that Pittsburgh didn't execute their game plan and wasn't the Pittsburgh Penguins that we're used to seeing?
If that's Montreal's game plan, to let Pittsburgh not execute their game plan, then you're right. Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, still, again, the shots were 10-10 halfway through the game. 10-10.
Hey, if you're going to give 10 shots from Pittsburgh versus 10 shots from Montreal, those are 10 very different shots. Now, don't get me wrong. I got to give Pittsburgh Montreal credits where it's due. It's like they've had a potent offense all year. They haven't been offensively. It's been their defense and their goaltending has struggled.
No, but here's the thing. No, but Ryan, the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first 3 games, at the halfway point of the game, would have had at least probably 18 to 20 shots through the halfway point of the game.
No, sure. So they boxed them out well. I understand, but it's still 10 shots from Pittsburgh versus 10 shots from Montreal.
But they weren't any odd man rushes. There were no odd man looks. There were no odd man rushes, except the first odd man rush I could really think of in that game was there was a 2-on-1 with Crosby and Gensel. So you have Crosby and Gensel going on 2-on-1 against Petrie and Price, right? You think that's
Petrie
easy?
made a good defensive play to prevent the pass.
But here's the thing.
Around the net, Gensel just fanned on the shot initially.
But here's the thing. No, here's the thing. Because Carey Price has been playing like Carey Price of the 2014 Olympics, Carey Price of that Hart-winning, Vezina-winning 2015 season, 2014-2015 season, because Carey Price was Carey Price, he was in their heads. He was in their heads. And that's why Crosby – and it wasn't a short 2-on-1 with a lot of pressure. No. Crosby had all the time in the world. But Crosby passed it right to Gensel. There was not even a doubt that Crosby was –
I'm not sure if we're talking about the same breakaway. I'm talking about the one where Gensel went behind the net after
no. So we are talking about that. Because what happened is Crosby – you think when you have Crosby and Gensel on a 2-on-1, 2 of your best offensive players – okay, it wasn't Crosby Malkin, but still 2 of your best offensive players coming in 2-on-1, right, in a 0-0 hockey game, right? You think that's easy money, right? Or at least that they get a better look. But what happened? Crosby didn't shoot, passed right away to Gensel, and Gensel didn't have the perfect look that he wanted on Carey Price, so he hesitated, which allowed Petrie to be aggressive and force him behind the net. And they still got an okay chance, but it wasn't nearly the same look that they could have gotten with Crosby and Gensel on a 2-on-1 halfway through the second period.
I love talking to Habs fans about plays against the Habs. It's like, you see it one way. Here's how I saw it. A 2-on-1 breakaway. Petrie made a good defensive he took out the pass as he was supposed to do. Gensel goes around the net, and immediately, if Gensel sees Crosby and passes it immediately, that is a goal 99 out of 100 times, okay? But he took a double take. I don't know if he mishandled it or just wasn't ready, but he had an open look to Crosby when Price was still on the left side of the net. By the time he passed it to Crosby, Price was halfway across the seams, or at least starting to move to his left, and that's why he made a nice save. Crosby will not miss that shot. Again, 99 times out of 100.
I mean, he tripped on that shot. He slipped.
No. That wasn't a trip. That was him moving to try to extend his range to the left side there, man. Crosby made a perfect play. It was just Gensel was late to it, and it wasn't forced late. He just messed up. And that happened so many times this. And honestly, here's where I'm going to make the comment. Don't hate me for it. It's rust. They make that goal, man.
Sure, you know what? I'm okay with that because you know what? That if Ethan was here, he would debate us on it, and we would be right because rust regresses teams to the mean.
I agree. I do agree that it regresses teams to the mean. Absolutely. It gives the Habs a better chance at winning this, and they did. I think if you play this series 100 times, the Habs – well, I mean, I'll probably give them more credit than – they win it probably 10 at least. 10 times. But we got the 1 in 10 chance here, man. Like, they did it. Like,
Although,
the
then
goaltending for
again,
Pittsburgh wasn't even that bad. The defense was – it could have been better, but it wasn't horrible. Their offense just didn't show up. And I think that has a lot more to do with the fact that the players haven't had the opportunity to play with each other. They could sit there and practice their own shots all day, but they can't practice those breakaway. Like, they can't practice being a team. And so,
but here's the thing, Ryan. Here's the thing, though. So you're talking about rust for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but the Canadians were fresh.
So no, not the player rust.
The team rust. Oh yeah, not the player rust. Yeah.
Ta-dunks.
And the Pittsburgh Penguins had to pay a huge price. Oh no. Crosby's birthday. No, it was bad. I had better puns with Price before, but anyway. Okay, but again, that just shows how, at the end of the day, the Canadians perfectly executed their game plan. And here's what's really also very encouraging: the Canadians did this without good performances from Drouin or even Max Domi, who was centering the fourth line, by the way. They did this on the backs of their 20-year-old Nick Suzuki and their 19, 20-year-old Jesperi Kotkaniemi, playing pivotal roles at center. And Philip Deneau, Paul Byron, and Arturi Lehkonen, that third line, that checking line that played against that drew Malkin every time Malkin was on the ice. Malkin didn't have any goals this series, by the way. Malkin put up points in assists. He had a tremendous pass across to, I think it was Shiri on that power play in Game 3. But Malkin had no goals. Malkin was shut out this series.
Whatever.
Oh yeah, Hornquist, my bad. But Malkin was shut out this series because he drew Philip Deneau, Philip Deneau, by the way, no one knows this, but Philip Deneau is Patrice Bergeron without the offense.
Oh man! Without the offense, okay, sure. Like, you can say that on a lot of players.
He is one of the best, if not the best, shutdown center in the game.
But he doesn't score.
But again,
so, I mean, is that good?
But if you
third line player.
But here's the thing: going into a series, let's say if the Canadians were to play the Leafs in the series. If I were to tell you that Austin Matthews will get no goals in an entire playoff series, or John Tavares will not get a goal in an entire playoff series.
Feels bad. Just like you have to go, well, I guess you pick one or the other.
Yeah,
like,
pick one.
Well, then Tavares is getting them all.
No. Okay, so Tavares. Okay, so let's say Deneau plays against Tavares, or let's say Deneau plays against Stamkos in this next series. If Stamkos is even playing,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Or
you may
Giroux.
have somewhat of a point here, but Crosby wasn't playing like Crosby for the most part either. He made a lot of mistakes this series. And again,
Crosby scored some big goals, though. Scored some big goals.
Again, he did because he's just so talented, but he wasn't full Crosby. And I wanted to make a statement at the start. I never got the opportunity to, and I don't know if I could stand by it now because Chicago won, but I wanted to make the statement that I think young teams are going to have a slight advantage over coming from the break than older
100%.
Just due to durability and just overall physical capability, and just young, just being younger and more biology. But
with all these excuses that
I can't agree. I don't know if I could stand with that because of Chicago, but like, it makes sense for the rest. It's like, holy crap, Arizona. Holy crap, Montreal. Holy crap. Like, it's like,
but again, Ryan.
Not crap, Vancouver, but also Vancouver.
But do you think
Carolina.
No, but do you think these teams care? Like, do you think the Rangers are going home and saying, it's because we're rusty, because we have a veteran lineup compared to Carolina as a younger lineup?
Can't make any excuses.
Do you think Edmonton's like Chicago has a younger roster and they're more fresh and it's a COVID Cup and not a Stanley Cup?
Does Chicago have a younger roster? I thought Chicago has
probably not. But Pittsburgh. Do you think Pittsburgh's like, okay, it's no big deal because we lost because it's a COVID Cup and not a Stanley Cup and because of the break? Like, do you think they that's an excuse that they're making? No, they're gonna look at themselves in the mirror like, God damn, we just lost a series to the 24th ranked Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, it's a joke and a half.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if Pittsburgh gets the first round,
and it wasn't a fluke, but it wasn't a fluke. The Canadiens just outplayed the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I will give it to you that Montreal deserves a little more credit, but I can't say
they deserve a lot more credit. They deserve a lot more credit, and they did it with their 20-year-old centers.
They did it.
And their world-class goalie.
By Price playing like he should.
Yeah.
An offense that showed up and the defense that surprisingly showed up. It's
Yeah.
and against a team that just didn't.
So I'm gonna conclude this segment so we can segue, but with this.
Well,
statement,
I could never agree with you. I'm a Toronto fan.
No, but we'll continue debating, and I'm gonna end with this segment with this statement so we could segue to our next statement or segment. Yeah. So the Canadians right now, the Canadians' best chance to win. All right, and we can have another show about whether it's better to play Tampa or Philly. We'll talk about that another time. But I want to say
next.
No, Tampa. Maybe we should debate about it because for me, as the Canadians have had no success in the last 2 times that they've played the Flyers in the playoffs. So I don't
care about previous playoffs. I care about this year.
It is probably a better matchup, but just
Philly
overall,
is hot. Philly is good. Philly is not a better overall team than Tampa. I take Philly.
Absolutely.
I want them to play Philly because I want them to upset Philly. So there's a chance that Toronto plays Montreal. That's what I want to happen.
Fair.
And God dang, I hope it does.
But here's the thing. So the Canadians, right? The Canadians' hope to succeed right now is having a balanced lineup, a well coached, a smart.
No, I think
smartly aggressive, fast skating, and hardworking 12 forward lineup because they can't.
Disagree.
No, but the Canadians don't have a Crosby, they don't have a Malkin, they don't have a Matthews,
so
they don't have a. So but they still have a solid top 9. They have Max Domi centering the fourth line.
Got Max Domi.
They have Max Domi centering the fourth line right now.
That says more about Max Domi's performance than it does anybody else's, to be honest.
No, it doesn't. It just means that it talks about Kotkaniemi and Suzuki. Suzuki has been playing 20 minutes a game as a 20-year-old center, shutting down Crosby. Nick Suzuki is a 20-year-old. Yes.
Impressive. Let me finish my point. There are 2 chances. There are 2 things that Montreal needs to have happen. One, they need Bettman to come in and say, you know what? I changed my mind. These playoffs are canceled. We're going to redo the draft lottery. That would be awesome for Montreal. 2 would be that they'd have to kill, or some horrific accident or COVID outbreak would have to occur to all their opponents. That's their chances of winning the cup, or better, getting a good draft pick, which obviously that one's not going to happen.
I mean, the same could be said for Toronto.
I think it's more likely that COVID comes in and sweeps up all the opponents of the Montreal Canadiens than them actually making it to the Stanley Cup Finals, buddy. Okay.
I'm sorry. Let's just move on. Let's just use that as a segue to our big picture conversation now, right? For both the Leafs and the Canadiens. So
absolutely,
I poured out my emotions into 2 videos yesterday before the game. Because I had come to terms. Yeah, I had come to terms going into yesterday's game against the Pittsburgh Penguins that the best thing for the Montreal Canadiens would be to be eliminated and to have a shot at either drafting 1st overall or even 9th overall.
Mm-hmm. It is and still is the case that should have happened, and they didn't. Oopsies.
But now the Toronto Maple Leafs are in an almost similar predicament where they could either. They could win their series against Columbus like they're supposed to and play in these playoffs and draw. Who would you play? Maybe the Islanders or
I haven't looked at the way the standings have gone.
Yeah, I haven't really looked quite into it, but
it doesn't matter to me.
But
here's the way I look at it.
Do the Leafs have a chance in these playoffs playing the way they play, just offensive firepower at the cost of terrible, undisciplined defense and odd man rushes for the other team and Freddie having to bail them out, right? Or do they want to lose against Columbus and be in the Lafreniere sweepstakes? Take it away, Ryan.
It depends on what Leafs show up. Are we talking about the Leafs in game 2? Or are we talking about the Leafs in the rest of them?
But so Ryan, the Leafs are the Leafs. It's the way the Leafs are. They're going to go on 3-goal and 5-minute runs, and they're going to give up 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, 4-on-1s within the same game. That's the Leafs.
This is a brand new season. This is so different.
Is it though? Is it?
There is so much to be said about how different this playoff is compared to any playoffs that have ever occurred. Okay, this is a brand new season. I care about.
But is it a brand new Leafs team though? Is it a brand new Leafs team compared to the 2019-2020 team? We could say that about the Canadiens so far, but can we say that about the Leafs?
Without Jake Muzzin, it is. But it's freaking. I mean, look. I think any team has good and bad games. I think the Leafs have the talent that says on paper, I know there's the argument about it, but on paper, can they win a cup? Absolutely. I don't think there's any fan in the world that would tell you the Leafs don't have the firepower to win the cup this year, because they absolutely do. Can they work as a team to get there? Let's find out. I can't sit here and tell you they're going to win the cup. I can't sit here and tell you they're going to get past teams like Carolina or get past teams like Boston. But I can tell
even
you
the Islanders. Even the Islanders.
If you want to look at it statistically speaking, do they have a better chance, having a 1 in 8 chance of getting Lafreniere? What are the odds of winning next year versus the odds of winning this year? And I can tell you, I have no idea. Nobody does. So let's just go for the cup. That's about it.
Okay. Excellent.
Let's just go for the cup. Go for the cup. And again, the only reason I wouldn't want to win the cup this year is because I wouldn't be able to celebrate it. That's my saving grace. So if they lose this game tomorrow, that is going to be the only reason. The only reason I don't jump off a bridge. Okay. It's like, my goodness, it's going to be heartbreaking to watch them collapse.
So wait. So 1 second, Ryan. 1 second. 1 second. If you would jump off a bridge for the Toronto Maple Leafs, what would you do for the Miami Dolphins?
I've already tried. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I have not done that. But it's like, we'll talk about that another day. This is a hockey podcast right now. I will happily discuss football another day. But my goodness, the Leafs, man, this is going to be an exciting Game 5. And you know what? I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game finally. I think we're finally going to see that game where it's like both teams put that heart and soul on the ice, and both are going to make mistakes. They're going to be bad pinches. We're going to have a classic Leafs game 7/5, bad defenseman clinch that everybody's going to be talking about. But this time, hopefully, it'll result in a Leafs win. And if it doesn't, 1 in 8 chance of Lafreniere. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, that's honestly my biggest fear, and that's why I'm cheering my butt off for the Leafs in this series right now, is because right now.
Well, do you really want to see Columbus get it either? I mean, like I said, you rather see.
Yeah, like I don't have anything against Columbus, and they could use Lafreniere. Imagine Lafreniere and Dubois playing together.
It's
Imagine,
nasty, man. Look what that team does without. Okay.
I mean, Torts will find a way to bench one of them just because whatever at one point.
No, I could say without superstars. They don't have any superstars.
But they don't. But with Torts,
Nick Foligno is an unbelievable player. He is such a smart and great, deserving C. Like, he deserves that C on his chest. But is he a superstar? Is Dubois a superstar? You know, is Cam Atkinson a superstar?
But if Torts is that coach, their coach.
Seth Jones.
But if Torts is their coach, those are Torts players. Foligno is a Torts player. Is a John Tortorella player. Seth Jones, amazing defenseman. Those are guys that Torts loves.
Yeah, they fit his scheme, sure. And yeah, it's like, can they win a cup? I don't think so. But man, did they pull the upsets? I'd be silly to say they couldn't win a cup, because look what they did to Tampa. Like, oh God. I
mean, like I said at the beginning of our show, you have Bobrovsky, you have Duchesne, and you have Panarin all out before the Columbus Blue Jackets as a team. So
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, just honestly, my biggest fear is still the Leafs getting Lafreniere and winning the Stanley Cup. And again, the chances of getting Lafreniere are greater than the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. So that's why I'd rather cheer.
I don't
for the
know.
Leafs.
Do the Leafs have a 1 in 8 chance of winning the Stanley Cup? Probably not. So,
but who knows? Not. You never know, right? You never know.
How many teams are? Sorry, how's the format work?
Well, once the Leafs get in, like it's like a standard
playoff.
There are 8
teams. Yeah, there are 8 teams on each side, right?
It's a standard playoff.
So at best, it's a 1 in 16. I mean, they're maybe better than the average team. So you put it maybe again, you round it around 1/16. So it's like, but even let's say change it that much next year maybe, but
here's my question. Here's my big question that I rhetorically asked on my post-game show on Twitter live yesterday after the Habs game, right? Let's say the Leafs lose and are in the Lafreniere sweepstakes with Edmonton, right? So you look at the Leafs and Edmonton, 2 franchises that have just really struggled overall but focus on Toronto and Edmonton, 2 teams that have struggled for years now, right? Okay, yeah. They've had playoff chances but have been out in the first round and just struggled, right? how
Edmonton won
long
a
will
series
the
last year,
Chicago
or a couple
Cubs
years
went
ago,
from
didn't they?
1913 without winning a World Series, but they finally won one in 2016, the Chicago Cubs. So how
Baseball's a different story, but I mean,
but no, but you'd think that eventually the Leafs and the Oilers will figure it out at some point. I mean, if they keep
no,
getting,
I can't agree with
can't
that
they?
because there's this thing called cap space. So it's like there's a reason why teams like there's a reason why
Lafreniere will cost between $1 million
the
to $3
Yankees
million
and the
dollars.
Dodgers are
No,
good
but
every year.
Lafreniere on the Leafs salary cap or the Oilers salary cap will
No, I'm
cost, I
saying
think,
baseball
$1 million.
doesn't have one. So it's like there's a reason why the Yankees and the Dodgers are in contention every year. And it's like it handcuffs the rest of the teams in the leagues. So it's like it's not the same here. I mean, yeah, you can make your
But
arguments on
Lafreniere will
taxes.
not cost anything. Will barely cost anything to the Leafs salary cap.
I
It'll
know,
cost their
baby.
third line center.
I
It'll
know.
cost
It's
the same thing
cheap.
on the Oilers.
It's not fair.
Why not?
It's so funny.
So I'm saying if the Leafs or the Oilers get Lafreniere
I'm
first
so
overall,
down, Mike. I am down. I'm
yeah,
down for that.
and I'm really not down for that.
It's just so unfair. It is so unfair for one of these teams.
So
to
that's
get
my
it.
worst. That's
But
my
also,
worst outcome as a Canadian
arguably
fan.
it's the best option. Like it's the best way to go. Just the fact that it came up, the fact that the draft lottery ended up with the first place team coming to one of these 8 losses just adds such a crazy, hilarious that we'll likely never see again dynamic to the playoffs. That honestly, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
And
I mean,
it's
you gotta
so funny.
hate it. I mean, it's at the
Yeah.
expense of 700,000 people, but it's like, oh, at least hockey brings a little bit of a bright spot to our lives,
And it's so funny how honestly the broadcasts just completely ignore it. Like they just carry on. Like these teams are in it to win it, which they should be and which they are, because the players are in it to win it. The coaches are in it to win it, right?
Yeah.
But they just completely.
Well, unless you're one of those people that think teams actually throw away games in playoffs for whatever stupid reasons. Like, oh, God,
Well, obviously, I mean, obviously not. Like professional sports, like they don't. I mean, especially
it's
in hockey,
dumb
where it's a
people that can't come
lottery.
to terms with the fact that their team's lost is what it is. Okay, it's just stupid. Okay, people don't throw away. This is the one year where there's somewhat of an argument for it, and I still don't back it. Okay, like this is the one and only year where I could somewhat argue. I could see the argument why people would say teams should blow their chances. And like honestly, but the best part about it is the only teams that really like quote unquote should have made the next round: Arizona, Chicago, Montreal. Like those 3 teams were arguably the only teams that really should have just said, okay, screw it, let's just take that 1 in 8 chance at Lafreniere. Like, and they didn't. So
And then
where's
actually,
the argument?
and then Arizona has a situation with Taylor Hall. No matter whether they're pounced in the first round or whether they go on a playoff run here, they have Taylor Hall as an unrestricted is the highest ranked unrestricted free agent going into this offseason, regardless. So
yeah, it's
that's
good
going to
they
be
got a chance at Lafreniere. Oh, wait a second. For some reason, they decided to win the series.
Oh my God.
Oh, but no, teams intentionally tank for winner draft picks or because of having the cup in certain countries because of profitability. Like, shut up. Like, just shut up.
So
so stupid.
So
stupid.
we're 5 minutes away from the top of the hour here, so we're gonna end the show with some predictions. We're gonna revisit our awesome predictions that we made at the beginning of this entire qualifier series, and we're going to. We might not be able to determine a winner today because we don't have Ethan on the show right now, but I want to determine a winner of our first round predictions, ideally before the actual playoffs start. So let's revisit this real quick. I predicted Penguins in 4, Hurricanes in 5, Oilers in 4, Islanders in 4, Jets in 4, Preds in 5, Jackets in 5, Canucks in 4, and Ryan, you predicted Pens in 4, Canes in 5, Panthers in 5, Jackets in 5, Oilers in 4, Preds in 4, Canucks in 5, Jets in 4. So we were pretty wrong. Like we kind of sucked.
I got 2 right so far.
I got 1, 2.
Did I predict Canucks in how many?
You said Canucks in 4. I mean, I'm not sorry, Canucks in 5.
You got a frick, damn it.
Sorry. So I'm saying I got Canucks in 4. I still am alive for Jackets in 5. I got Islanders in 4. Yeah, I got Islanders in 4, right? And Hurricanes Hurricanes 1 and 3, but I got them and predict them in 5. So
you're good. You win.
I got 4 sort of right. And I guess that kind of makes me win there, right?
You're the lock, buddy. You're the lock. But am I the real winner for calling the Jackets in 5 if the Jackets win, even though I'm a diehard Leaf fan? No?
I
No?
don't know.
Okay, good talk.
I don't know.
Yeah, nope. It just makes me a loser. It just
Yeah,
makes
it
me a
just
bigger loser.
It's okay. I was the biggest loser yesterday for the first time cheering against my team.
Yeah,
Hoping
your
for the
team
lottery
won,
pick,
and
and then my team won. And but then I cheered for your team, and your team won. So at least there's that. Even though I would never cheer for your team in a million years,
What a
unless it's a
backwards
stupid
you
situation like
want the
this.
Habs to lose, but the Leafs to win. It's
Because
just
my
bonkers.
biggest, my most
In
feared,
playoffs, though, that's just
but
how
is it playoffs? It's
strange that
qualifiers.
quote unquote playoffs. But like, it's like, how strange is that in
2020.
quote unquote playoffs, you're cheering for the team you love and would die for to watch win a cup lose, and the team you loathe with a passion above anything else in the world
Well, the
to
Eagles.
win. Yeah, that's fair. You
Yeah.
have Eagles more. That's right.
So,
But,
and it's funny how I have a Leafs fan on this podcast. I have an Eagles fan on this podcast.
wait, do you? Who'd you bring on?
I had a buddy of mine who's an Eagles fan on the show on Wednesday.
Gotta love it. Gotta
anyway.
love it. I missed the last two podcasts. My apologies.
No, so it's all good. But Ryan, this was a lot of fun. This is a really fun hour talking crazy hockey with you. Go Leafs, go for Sunday, and then never after that again, unless another
That's on
stupid
camera.
scenario happens.
I'm gonna soundbite that. I am going to soundbite that.
Soundbite it all you want. All you want. Go Leafs, go for Sunday, and not after that ever again, unless something stupid happens.
Passion. Go Leafs, go! Come on.
No,
go
no
Leafs,
passion
go.
for you. I'm not giving you the passion. That's what I'm not giving you.
Worth a shot.
But yeah, this has been a really fun Langer at the Mic live show on this Saturday, August the 8th, and
absolute pleasure to be here. And man, we got an exciting one. I'm gonna probably cry on Sunday.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
Take it easy, buddy.